Welcome to Sensible Health Solutions, the show where we simplify health and wellness. Join your hosts, Hallie Fields and Dr. Scott Luper, as they share practical tips and expert insight to help you navigate common ailments, nutrition, and overall well-being. Tune in for straightforward advice that empowers you to live a healthier life.
Hello, Hallie.
Hi, Dr. Luper. How are you?
Good.
Are you happy?
I am, in fact. Yeah, I really am. Life's good. It's been snowing, and so the recreational opportunities have went up here in Alaska. I've got my dogs trained to pull me on my bicycle. I have a big fat tire bike with studded snow tires, and I attach them and I go mush, and they pull me like crazy. It's very fun. Except for it's a relatively new sport for me.
Yeah, you're learning some trial and error.
There's been a lot of crashing. They stop and they look behind and they go, "Wow, what are you laying on the ground for?" Man, those sleds are flat. They have two runners, and so they tend to have real good stability. Whereas a bike, you got these two tires, and if you lose traction, you tend to keel over. So, but you don't always crash. You could kind of slip a little bit and then catch yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that 20 times, and then eventually I miss one and I crash. So there's a lot of almost crashing. Turns out this would be it's a rough sport, man.
I think it would be easier if you took the dogs off and let them run beside you and you independently bike. It would be more vigorous of a workout for you, and you wouldn't risk as many crashes.
Yeah, there's that. I'm looking for a challenge. One of the ways you get to be happy, we're got this happiness project going on, is to pick something hard and then learn how to do it, and then you feel like,
woohoo,
dude.
You did it. Yeah.
I could do it, right?
Yeah.
There's that feeling. And so there's an art to picking things that are a challenge but not too challenging. I think I might have overstepped on this dog mushing on a bike thing. I think either what I'm going to do is just do as you say and let them run with me, because that's the summertime. That's what I do.
And biking in itself is already hard enough. I mean, maybe not for you, Tour de France dude, but
I gotta tell you, it's a thrill. It's an e-bike. It's just there's pure power and speed. Those dogs, they want to run like crazy.
Yeah.
So we got to be careful. As interesting as this conversation is, I think what we need to do is widen it out for a more general population, because the chance that anybody listening is going to be doing dog mushing behind their bike is not zero, but it's not high either.
Here in the Fairbanks interior, many of us do that. Maybe not in outside populations.
All right, so here's what I want to do. I want to talk about how to be happy. And the reason why I want to talk about this, I've been thinking really long and hard about this, is because unhappiness is rampant. Now, there's always been people who have been unhappy, and there's always been people that have been happy, but the ratio is changing. There's more and more unhappy people, and there's less and less happy people. This is an actual problem, not just in theory, but in reality. Now, you and I do this clinic thing, so we got a steady stream of people coming in, and more people come in just unhappy. They're feeling like overwhelmed. That is a word that comes up over and over and over again. I saw 3 people yesterday that said that. I feel overwhelmed. There's too much stuff. It's just, I feel like it's weight on me. I'm buried in things that I'm worried about. And a lot of it is big picture things that we don't have control over as individuals. Things like, global warming. No, certainly we have an impact as individuals, but we can't control it. I can't personally make decisions that are going to control global warming.
You can't personally make decisions for China, for
no,
India.
I can't. It turns out they're going to do whatever they're going to do. I can't make personal decisions for the people in my own city.
For the people in your own house.
I was going to say, even more so. The people that live with me.
Right.
I can't make decisions for those people. Now we can have a conversation about it and how this is how I think it should be. And, maybe they'll do what I say, but only if they buy in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So happiness isn't dependable when it requires people to buy in, because then you're at the mercy of other people around you. So the true path to happiness is being able to use the things you can do, your decisions. There's a name for this called agency. If you have agency and you feel like you're in control, I mean, not 100% control, but, you know, you have some degree of control, your amount of happiness goes skyrocketing high. This is a key element in happiness, this feeling of agency. If I make decisions and I set up a pattern, then I have a pretty good chance that it's going to come out the right way. You start making good decisions, you start feeling like, yeah, I like this life thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is good.
If you start making good decisions for yourself, too.
For yourself. Now, you can also make decisions to help other people. That's fine.
Yeah.
There's a lot of happiness that can be got in that. But again, this is your decision.
Right, and
not somebody. You're not deciding for other people. You're deciding for yourself.
Oftentimes, the good decisions that we make for ourselves enhance who we are, and then that carries into our lives with our families, with our friends, with our communities. They get the best versions of ourselves.
Yeah,
they don't get the sad version. They don't get the fearful version
Yeah.
that's making decisions out of lack. They get the decisions out of gratitude. They get the decisions out of generosity. They get the decisions out of happiness.
Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head. That's exactly. You know what? It's just reinforcing. We make these decisions for ourselves, and it sounds like we're taking care of ourselves. We're not. We're taking care of everybody else around us. We turn out to be, you know, a little bubble of happiness that overlaps with another little bubble of happiness. Pretty soon we got these happiness bubbles all over the place, and the world's a better place.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is, you can't fix all the problems in the world, but you can fix some of the problems in the world. And what you do is you pick the ones you could fix. And the best place to start is within the sphere that I inhabit.
Mm-hmm.
These ones right here, the ones that I'm taking care of, right? Those are mine. They're no one else's. They're mine. They're mine. So I'm going to work on the stuff I'm doing. Now I'm also, as you know, opportunity allows, work on the stuff for other people. That's why we're doing the show, right? Having this conversation, getting people to buy in on this thing.
Well, and then you are only able to work on the other stuff for people because you've done work within yourself to get to that point.
I got some experience with this.
Right.
For sure, without a doubt. Okay, so there's a lot of entry points in this thing, this agency thing, what can we make decisions on. And I'm trying to think about the thing that we should talk about that's going to give us the biggest bang for our buck. I think it's energy, because so many times people have low energy, and so it's like, okay, Dr. Luper, you know, we want to be happy and we can do some stuff, but how do I get more energy?
Right. I have done the inner work. I have come to the place of I am grateful. I am at bliss.
Yeah, but now I need to mow the lawn.
But I am still horizontal on the couch.
Yeah, right. So what do I do for energy? And the worst case scenario is where when you do something, it wrecks you.
Yeah.
Now we have a steady stream of people coming in and have that problem. I tried exercise. It was the worst thing I ever did. I was never sicker in my life than when I exercised. It took me a week to recover from exercise. That's real. People do that. And we as a species we need exercise. Yeah, we know that. Except for some people can't do it. They just simply can't. So we can't solve every problem in the world, but let's pick some of them to work on right now. And this energy thing. Well, at least we'll come up with a framework of how to fix it. Okay, so here's...
when I think of energy, I think of sleep. I think of getting a full 8 hours so that I'm able to wake up fully rested.
Yes, most important. You just hit the nail right on the head. Now, you think the rest of the show is going to be about sleep. We should save sleep for another show.
Oh, okay.
Because that is a big subject.
Okay.
And that is number one. Okay. Number one, right there. You just hit it. Number one. Okay, we'll put you number one aside.
We'll come back
now
to
let's go to number two. Okay, so number two. You want to make a guess? What's number two?
Well, I would think it would be food. What we just covered last episode is giving our body sustenance so that it can convert it into energy.
Yeah, so basically what you're saying is our metabolism. Our ability to take food, break it down, extract the energy from it, generate power and heat, because we get warm from the whole experience as well. And then it allows us to, do lots of stuff, and we feel good. And you go out and get more food, and then you eat that, and then it keeps the whole system going. Yeah, that's life.
Yeah.
That's life in a nutshell.
So when we're talking about metabolism, at its foundation, are we talking about digestion?
Let's do yes. Let's work on the regulation of metabolism. Because when people think about metabolism, they rightly think about thyroid. Because if your thyroid runs low, then your metabolism runs low.
I don't think about thyroid. I thought digestion first. So let's start with thyroid.
Well, you've been hanging out with me, so there's that.
Yeah, we focus a lot on the gut.
We've been hanging out with each other, so we have this thing about digestion. You're exactly right. You get digestion going. So let me tell you what, we'll come back and talk about digestion in terms of the bigger picture of metabolism, but let's take the smaller picture right now and do the regulation of metabolism.
And that is in your thyroid, which is actually the body's furnace.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, you're getting close to it. Everybody thinks that.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's not?
No. The thyroid, let's take this furnace analogy. The furnace is our metabolism. That's the boiler.
Okay.
That's the part of us that takes things and it burns it for fuel and energy. I mean, for heat and energy. Okay, so that actually happens inside of our cells. Now, let me be more specific. It actually happens inside of a little cellette in our cells, a tiny little specky thing called the mitochondria. The mitochondria have the ability to take calories and burn them for heat and energy. They generate ATP. So the mitochondria are the actual powerhouse of the cell. That is the thing that's burning.
If I remember one thing from the 4th grade, it's that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
And you remember it correctly.
And that is...
Now, the dealio, though, is somebody's got to set a thermostat on this thing. Otherwise, it just burns up, right? So we have the system set up in our bodies, and not just us, other animals too, where our thyroid regulates our metabolism. So the thyroid, really in this model, is the thermostat.
Okay.
So in the thermostat is set low, and then everything runs cold and slow. You know, it's just it's a harder life. Now, if we can turn the thermostat up, everything runs warm, and we feel comfortable and ready to go do stuff. Our energy's better, so that turns out to be really important. If your thermostat's set wrong, then you have low energy. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing, though. People who, when they take thyroid, they expect to get more energy. Now, they will, as long as the furnace responds. Mm-hmm. The thermostat is not the furnace. Mm-hmm. It's just a regulator of the furnace. So you need to have a furnace that works, the boiler down in the basement that's ready to burn in order for the whole system to work. And so often it doesn't work, or it works poorly. And so if what you do is you turn it up, now suddenly it's pouring more oil in or whatever it's burning, and it starts blowing black smoke.
So really, we're talking about mitochondrial health?
Yes. We're talking about mitochondrial health and the regulation of mitochondrial health. So if you want energy, this is basics. Your mitochondria got to burn stuff. And if they're going to burn things correctly, you got to have a thyroid that works well. Now, the thyroid, there's tests you can do, and the tests are helpful, but the tests are not the thing. And again, that's the thing that people make the mistake on. They think, well, the test said I'm normal, and so I'm normal. No.
Well...
No, wait. The test is whether the boiler responded to the thermostat. You turn the thermostat to 72 and say, look, it's 72. The number's right. But what's the temperature in the house? If it's 64, it ain't working. And that's in real life, in our lives. You want to know how your thyroid's working? Get a thermometer. Stick it in your mouth. If you're 98.6, you were correct. If you're 97.6, you are a degree low. I don't care what your thyroid test says, it ain't working. So we got to figure out how to actually get it to work. And that happens all the time. The majority, not the minority, the majority of people who have thyroid problems don't have them set right because the doctors are looking for the test results rather than looking at the patients and seeing how they feel. And so this is the real problem. So you're right. You want to talk about how to get your thyroid to work right? No. Wrong way of saying it. You want to get your temperature to be right so you can have real energy, not fake energy, real energy.
Because temperature is the signature marker of an efficient burning.
Yep. That's exactly right. That's where rubber hits the road is if you can make the stuff that our body needs, that's ATP, the side product of that is heat. And so if you're making more ATP, you're making more heat.
Are any other hormones included in the health of thyroid?
Yeah,
Because when I think of thyroid, I think of endocrine system.
So there's your brain generates a substance called the TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, and the TSH regulates the thyroid. So the way the system's set up is that if the thyroid's running hot, you make a lot of thyroid, and the thyroid inhibits the production of TSH. TSH goes down. That slows down the system, and so it goes down, if it's working correctly. Now, if the thyroid isn't producing enough, then the brain can sense that as well, and so it makes more thyroid-stimulating hormone. That goes up, and that stimulates, like, yeah, with the whip, yeah, and then the thyroid starts making more stuff. The little thyroid factor starts cranking it out, and then if it's all working right, the metabolism rises up. The mitochondria start doing their thing. The whole system's set up. Basically, you turn the thermostat up, the boiler kicks on, and everything gets warm. That's how it should work, except for often it doesn't work that way. Mostly the reason why it doesn't work that way is it's not because the thyroid's broken. Yeah, the thyroid breaks. For real, the thyroid breaks. There's lots of ways the thyroid can break. But the more common problem is the metabolism's broken, that there's something in the way. Now, one of the things about mitochondria, and I can't go into this too much, we don't have enough time, but in order to make ATP, there has to be an electron gradient that's generated, that the electrons are stored up over here, and then there's less over here, and it runs these electrons through this little channel or tube, if you will, or straw, whatever you want to call it. And then they trigger this little mechanism on the other side. And no, I'm using the wrong word when I use the electrons. I want to talk about ions. It's an ion gradient is what it is. Actually, I think of what they are as protons that run through this thing. Nonetheless, there's an ion gradient. And that creates potential power. Basically, we're storing more on this side and there's less on that side. We run it through the tube and it triggers a little mechanism and we make the stuff. And then we can generate ATP through that system. That system will break. It gets clogged. It gets, the body doesn't make enough of them. The ones that it makes are defective. There's a bunch of ways that this can all go wrong. If it's really wrong, you just die and you just waste away. Nobody knows why. If it just goes partly wrong, then what you do is you get tired and you don't know why. There are some famous poisons that'll kill the whole system. Cyanide is one. Cyanide is an atom that just happens to fit right in that spot and it clogs it. So with cyanide, when you get cyanide, what you're dying of, the poison, is it kills your energy production. Your energy production goes down. It just the whole system doesn't work. There's aside from the mitochondria, there's other places where this can be broken down. One of those things is in the oxygen carrying capacity, whether the hemoglobin can carry oxygen or not. And that can be broken down by a variety of things, a bunch of toxins as well. One of the more famous ones being carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide sticks to the spot where oxygen normally would sit and just clogs it. And now the oxygen carrying capacity basically is wrecked. It's less if you come out right, that is, you're still alive. If it's really bad, you just die.
Okay.
And what you do is you die of suffocation. It's kind of a weird thing because you can breathe all the air you want, but it doesn't do you any good, and you end up dying from that. So carbon monoxide poisoning is a real thing as well.
Right.
There's some systems set up to get you to wake up and get out of that situation, because typically it happens while you're sleeping, and it will give you a headache, and so you can feel it. And then it takes you a while to recover. You got to grow new mitochondria, so it's months to recover from a poisoning like that.
So we've talked about kind of the mechanisms behind. Now, what can we do to grow mitochondria or increase mitochondria production?
Yeah, I'd say this is an excellent question. What you want to do is you want to search around and find what's broken. The best way, let's say you got a car. Okay, how do we get the car rolling down the road nicely? We have to find out what part broke. And then we have to go in and we have to replace it or come up with a compensation for whatever it doesn't do, right? Same thing with our bodies. It's not like you take thyroid and your energy is better. So often people take thyroid because their energy's low and they get thyroid and it doesn't work. If anything, they feel worse because now you crank the thermostat up and now you're blowing black smoke because you're getting incomplete, burning of whatever the thing is, and now you're feeling toxed out. It ends up making people worse. Commonly. I see this all the time. So what we want to do is we want to run a test to figure out what is actually broken. And so now that I don't have time to tell you all the different ways things can break. Let me just say, here's the thing to do on this thing. What you should do is not take it. Not just say, oh, this is my lot in life. You know, it's hard getting old.
Nope.
Nope. Not wrong. No. Old is not the thing. Broken is the thing.
Right.
As we go over time, we accumulate breakage.
Sure.
And so you find the breakage, you can turn this thing around.
Uh-huh.
And routinely. Now, eventually, age is going to catch you. There's that. But it's not going to catch you near as early as you think. Remember the first time I thought, you know, it's rough getting old, I was 25. Literally, I had that thought in my mind, how it's hard getting old. I'm starting to become decrepit. It was 25, because it's a way of thinking.
I didn't start thinking that till this year.
Well, I was a prodigy, right? I got ahead of it. But I quit thinking that way. Now I think when something breaks, I think, what can I do to fix it?
Right.
How can I figure out exactly what's broken and go in and look at it? You want to get happy? You want agency? What you need to do is you need to start working problems. Now, you're going to find out real quick that you don't know everything you need to know to be able to fix this thing.
Yep.
The human body, anybody, is complicated all to heck, right? So it's helpful to get somebody who knows what they're doing. You have to find somebody, maybe a doctor. Sometimes doctors are not necessarily the best ones to do it. Maybe a chiropractor or a dentist. I kid you not. Get it wherever you can.
Yeah.
These videos,
Yeah.
for one thing.
YouTube.
I mean, you can start learning stuff and start working the problem yourself and trying things.
Right.
And seeing if you can solve the problem with something that that you read about or did. Now, you want to be careful about this. Every once in a while, things can poison you and you can get sick from it. Common sense has to rule in these kind of situations. But the main thing that you do is be cautious, but be bold. Now, it's weird I just said those two things. You want to have some sense of what could go wrong here, right? You got your finger, there's the socket, and you're thinking, well, if I put my finger in that socket...
What could go wrong? So...
Right, so you want to be careful where you put your fingers, right? You don't want to get shocked. And yet, you want to, now the analogy's going to break down here, but you want to try stuff because you may figure something out and like, wow, look at that.
I just discovered electricity.
I figured this thing. And now I feel better. And not only that, here's the key. You did it.
Yep.
You did it. You did it. You're the one who came up with it. You're the one with an idea. Right before this show, literally as we were setting up, I got a call from a patient. Dr. Luper, I discovered something. I got this thing. I guess made my whole case. Woo, good idea.
You did it. Good job.
Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. I did have that. Maybe it worked, maybe it won't.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and run the test.
Okay.
And let's see if
Yep.
this is broken, because that way we'll know, and then we'll give it a better chance if we're going to try this thing. That was agency right there.
Yep.
What a clever patient. I have this thinking, hey, there's this thing. And not only that, he thought, who can I call? I'll call Dr. Luper and see if maybe this is a good idea. And you know what? It is. It's a great idea. I think this might just be the thing. I have to be careful, though, because maybe it isn't. I've been tricked by a good idea before. Many a good idea has been slain by an ugly fact.
Yes,
I've had that experience. So we want to check. But even if it comes up wrong, we still are trying. If it comes up wrong, it's like, well, it wasn't that. What can it be?
Well, even in being wrong, I have learned to find that that is my own discovery. And in that, I can feel good about it. I thought it was a good idea. I found out wrong, but it was my choice.
Yeah. So here's the thing. We want to get energy. So what we want to do is we got to figure out why you don't have energy. So you're going to have to try stuff. I gave you an idea already what to do. Get a thermometer. Put it in your mouth. If it comes up cold, there's a problem.
Uh-huh.
The other thing, too, is just note how you sleep. Now, I said we weren't going to talk about sleep, but I'm sorry. It's too big of a thing to ignore.
Yeah, we can't avoid it.
So note how you sleep. If you're not sleeping at night, well, there you go. If that isn't the problem, it is a problem. So you're going to have to fix that one anyway, no matter what.
Notice how you breathe.
Yeah, another one. Yeah, it knows how you breathe. You're holding your breath all the time because you're upset about the state of the world, and you got this tightness, and you got this little weird little tight little breath thing, and then suddenly you don't have any energy.
When
right?
you take a couple deep breaths, everything
Yeah, so let me we're going to end on this note here, this breathing thing, because this is something that's practical and helpful and useful. The dealio with breathing is you want to get oxygen in your body, and we all know that. Yeah, so you deep breathe and you get oxygen in. But the thing that people forget is that it's not only about the oxygen, it's about the oxygen transfer. The oxygen in the air can't get to be oxygen in your cells unless it's picked up by your hemoglobin and carried to your cells.
And you need carbon dioxide.
The carbon dioxide is a key element into getting that to go. So what people a lot of times will do when they need more carbon dioxide, by instinct, they'll yawn. Okay, what the heck is yawning? Why do we even yawn? What a stupid thing. Yawn? What does this do?
Your brain needs more oxygen.
What it's doing is it's creating a back pressure, because there's a tension when you do a yawn. You're pushing, and you're pushing against that back pressure. And so the carbon dioxide that we're generating from our metabolism slows. It can't escape as well, so it tends to build up a little bit. You get more carbon dioxide in your body, then what happens is the oxygen that's attached to the hemoglobin is released. Now, not all the oxygen that attaches will let go. It doesn't want to let go. It likes being attached to the iron. It's called rust. It doesn't want to unrust. It wants to stay rusted. It's a lower state. It's a stable state for it. So the only way you're going to be able to knock that oxygen off is by twisting the molecule and popping the dang oxygen off. What does the twist? Carbon dioxide. It's called the Bohr effect, B-O-H-R, Bohr effect. So that gets the oxygen off. So we want to get the Bohr effect going. It's funny it's Bohr effect because you're yawning.
Yeah.
Different word. So anyways, you want to get the carbon dioxide up. So what you do is you yawn, except for here's a better way to do it. You breathe in and out through your mouth. There's the pressure.
The pursed lip breathing.
Called pursed lip breathing.
Yep.
And you can get your oxygen levels to go up.
Yeah.
Anybody who's got oxygen problems already knows this.
Yep.
Because they already figured it out, because it's a thing you can do, and now you can get up the stairs.
Yep. Or
But-
you can breathe into a bag.
Yeah, there's another thing. You can breathe into a paper bag. Except for who's got a paper bag? I don't have a paper bag.
Right.
So this pursed lip breathing is a more practical thing, because you don't need to carry anything with you to do it. There's other breathing techniques too. There's that square breathing where you breathe in, you hold your breath for a count of 4. Breathe in for 4, and then breathe out for a count of 4. And the breath holding is where your body holds up carbon dioxide. Also, you're breathing in deeply, so you're getting increased carbon dioxide, increased oxygen, increased oxygen transfer. Basically, you're taking the boiler. Remember, going back to the boiler thing. You open up those dampers and you fan.
Yep.
Suddenly, more oxygen
You're
is going in.
sending oxygen to the
I'm running hot
flames,
now.
and the flames burn with oxygen.
There it is.
Yeah.
It's basic physics on some level is
Yeah,
what it is.
absolutely.
You throw oxygen in the system and suddenly you're feeling better.
And
That
it
is the
starts
thing you can
burning.
do right now. Yeah, you can make yourself feel better today. And again, here you are making good decisions. You got some sense of control.
Yeah.
We're not worried about overpopulation or underpopulation or peak oil or whatever that. What we're doing instead is we're out making a life,
And-
doing stuff, having adventures.
I think I'm going to add one last thing for the last few minutes. Movement.
Yeah,
Little
right.
bit of movement, if possible.
Yeah, we should do a show on movement.
Movement.
The movement's a key thing. It's another one of those linchpin things.
Yep.
Along with sleep, because without the movement, it just doesn't work either. You got to do the movement. Otherwise, the blood doesn't flow. Things kind of go low and slow. And not only that, when you don't move, you don't want to move.
Yeah, and
'Cause
then
now you just
you're
come up with
sedentary,
reasons,
and
yeah.
then you're stuck, and then you're stagnant,
And you say, I don't exercise.
both mentally and physically.
I've never been an exerciser. I just really don't exercise. It's nothing that I do, right? And that's what people say. And that's it. And that's it. We're done. We don't need to do anything else, right? No, that's the wrong way to think about it. The thing is what can you do within your means to feel better?
Yeah.
And then
one
turns
of the
out this is a
things-
powerful thing to do.
Yeah, one of the things that I learned early in my recovery was to pair movement with breathing. When I'm upset, go into your environment, pick 3 things that you can see, that you can touch, that you can smell. Walk for 3 minutes, and then take 3 deep breaths.
Wow, what a great advice that is. That'll turn your attitude right there.
It fixed it every time.
Yeah. Of Cool. Interesting show we're doing, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is what we're doing. What we're doing right
it's
here.
Worth,
I'm excited about
helping
it.
people learn how to be happy.
Yeah.
Take that back for themselves.
We haven't talked about money once.
Okay,
Thanks,
Dr.
Haley.
Luper.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Sensible Health Solutions. We hope you found today's discussion enlightening and packed with practical tips to enhance your wellness journey. Remember, small changes can lead to big results. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback helps us bring you the best content possible. Stay connected with us on social media for more health insights and updates. You can find us at Sensible Health Solutions across all social platforms. Until next time, stay sensible and stay healthy. This content is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Seek medical advice from a healthcare professional for any medical conditions.